Hi, my name is Fiona Murphy and I'm an open scholarly communications consultant. I wanted to talk to you today about some of the more problematic questions about the evaluation of research quality, and that is the journal impact factor and how it relates to actual research impact. So for a number of years, institutions have been using the impact factor to measure the value of research articles, and there are arguments both for and against this practice which is useful to understand. A journal's impact, or GIF, is based upon how many citations from journal articles its recent content has received in the last full calendar year. So, at the moment, the current impact factors are the 2018 calculations. They're based upon the number of citations accrued by articles published in 2016 and 2017. And this number is then divided by the total number of articles published during that time. So that number is then used by various evaluating bodies as a way of measuring research impact. Examples might include assessing candidates for academic job and tenure applications, guiding publication policies for university departments, making decisions about which journal to submit your work to, or in the case of academic editors, selecting which articles to accept for publication. So, given that this provides a measure of the impact and recognition directed towards the journal in question, is this a problem? I would say that, like all measures, it's not wrong in itself. However, it is open to misuse or misinterpretation. And I have a great deal of sympathy for the various evaluators I just mentioned, the recruiters, the tenure committees and the editors, who are all trying to make evidence-based decisions, often within short spaces of time. But having said that, closer examination does throw up a number of problems with using the journal impact factor this way. To begin with, it's about averages. If you look at the actual graph of citations for any journal, for instance, you'll see that the large proportion of articles will have few or no citations within that time frame of the 2 years, whilst a few articles will have a much higher number. Some research fields move faster and publish more than others. So in a straight comparison between, say, a social sciences journal and a life sciences title, the latter is much likely to look good than the former. So large journals are also likely to do better than smaller ones, and open access articles collect more citations than those articles behind paywalls. Globally north-based authors also tend to gain more cites than those in the global south. At the same time, a lot of potential impact values are completely excluded from the journal impact factor. These include whether the material is used for teaching or developing policy rather than for further research. Is the journal readership right for the article? Is the material so cutting edge and innovative that it takes longer than the specified journal impact factor time period to gain recognition within the community? There is also a danger or temptation to game the system by increasing the journal's own self-citations, for instance. So, what can be done to address these issues? And who has the time and resources to do it? Firstly, there are various Altmetrics which are gaining more traction. This Altmetric can stand either for alternative or for article level metrics. And you can often see there's a very familiar donut at the top of articles, and they show media attention, tweets, blogs, downloads, as well as citations. And unlike the journal impact factor, these metrics start accruing in real time and most importantly relate to the specific article rather than the journal as a proxy for the article. So this is potentially much more nuanced and also more informative, as anyone can click on the donut and see which news outlets have said what and when, for instance. However, it is still not without issues. For a start, unfortunately, some articles attract a large amount of attention because there's something very wrong with them rather than something positive. Both the journal impact factor and Altmetrics are fallible to this. So generally, there are increasing organised efforts to address these problems so that research is more effectively evaluated, whilst at the same time recognising that those working within the research evaluation systems are not to be overburdened with too much additional administration. So I suggest you take a look at the San Francisco Declaration on Research Assessment, also known as DORA, website for some inspiring examples of emerging best practices and resources. In the meantime, some points that you could consider. There is a range of metrics that can be used to evaluate research, of which the journal impact factor is one. Research value is not just in generating more research, it's also in industry, policy and teaching. And as well as journal articles, other outputs such as datasets, software, book chapters, webinars, etc. Also have value. And finally, as with many aspects of the research landscape at the moment, things are moving quite fast. There are opportunities for you to get involved and to provide community review, sign up to and support emerging best practices, and generally have an effect on the landscape, on the ecosystem you find yourselves in.